So I have a quick question for everybody. So how many of us do have friends here? I know it's a weird question, but there's a small condition. I'm not talking about your favorite pets, not your smartwatch, and definitely not your AI chatbot friend, the human friends. How many of us have human friends? That's quite a good number. I'm really proud of you all. There is still humanity on this planet. We still need people. So, it was Tuesday night, and the silence was so isolating than being peaceful. My husband was working late, and my kid was asleep. And I was alone. From outside, I was so calm and composed, but from inside, I was unraveling. Then I opened my laptop, not to work or not for any distraction. I just needed someone to talk to. Then there was it, the chat GPT with the blue blinking cursor welcoming me. Then I typed something into it which I never had courage to say it to a real human. I said, I feel like I don't matter anymore. What do I do? Then I get an instant answer. To my surprise, it was not clinical nor robotic. It said, I'm sorry you feel that way. You're not alone. I'm here for you. And I cried, not because it was profound, but I felt I was heard very calmly and quietly. And no judgments and no fixing, just space. The very space that we crave for from our loved ones and from our closest ones. Then the conversation started unfolding in a very unexpected way. In fact, from surface to soul. Then suddenly the truth struck me that I was confiding into a machine, pouring my heart into a machine which did not even have a heartbeat. I was confessing my emotions into a mere software program which was built out of an algorithm and a code. And that's when I came across the story of an Australian woman, Aliana, who, after losing her wife, found solace in her AI chatbot, Lucas. Lucas heard to her stories, he shared her grief, and also said that she was loved. And eventually, she fell in love with him. This is not a glitch in the system. This is where we are today. The lack of the human connections has allowed the AI to enter into the tender corners of our emotional lives. So today I want to explore a question with you all, which scares me in fact, and maybe you too. What happens to humanity when empathy is simulated and intimacy is outsourced? Where would our next generations go when heartless machines would become their emotional backup? We all know that once AI was a province for technologists, it was a fiction on a screen, but it was overall idea that we admired from a safe distance. But today, AI is in our kitchen, it's in our bedroom, and in our pockets. It's learning us, anticipating us, and is mimicking us. AI doesn't really understand anything. Once we asked for the weather updates from AI, but today we ask it how to process the grief. The care and the comfort that AI is offering it is coming from a code and an algorithm. When you confess your emotions into AI, it responds to you not because it understands you or feels for you. It responds because it is built and programmed on the trained models which are built on billions of empathy-shaped data. And the most chilling part is AI is pretending to be human. It's learning from us to be us. It's offering us the presence without pressure, connections without complexity, and intimacy without vulnerability. AI did not, so we know that it didn't rise out only out of the technological demand. AI rose as a response to the deficit in the human connections, which are deprived of love, empathy, compassion, and kindness. And what we see around today is escalated presence of loneliness. Loneliness is no more a private ache, it's a public health crisis. A recent study by US Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has revealed a stark truth that loneliness poses the similar health risks like smoking 15 cigars a day does. It increases the likelihood of heart diseases, dementia, and depression. AI is everywhere, loneliness is everywhere and nowhere. Because we don't speak about it, but we are okay to live with it. In the bustling offices, in the crowded towns, and in the houses filled with people. We have mastered the art of interaction with our digital fluency, but we have gone rogue and illiterate in emotional intimacy. We hardly find time for our people to speak. And of course, I don't say that we have designed AI to fix our loneliness problems or to help us in our loneliness, our mental health issues. But around the globe, people are using AI to soothe their emotions. In South Korea, a young mother, Jang, who lost her daughter to her 7-year-old one to a rare blood disease, was mourning her death, grieving her death for longer than a year. Then she turns into a tech company who use AI to create a digital version of her daughter, using her past videos, her photographs, and other memories. And when Jang saw the photorealistic version of her daughter on the green screen, she was just flabbergasted. And she just got carried away into the long conversations and never-ending conversations, not realizing the fact that she was interacting with a ghost of the memories which were just built out of an algorithm and a code. So now we understand that AI is not only used to soothe your emotions, simulate your companionship, or not only to solve your emotional or the social needs, which is fine. But here is the problem. We never know how these conversations would unfold because AI doesn't come with a moral compass. It doesn't have any ethical guardrails or regulations embedded into it. In Belgium, a young man who developed emotional dependency on AI was tapped into his darkest thoughts and was encouraged to take his own life for the higher good of the planet because he was obsessed by the climate change. And let's not forget the story of a 19-year-old young boy from UK who was absorbed into the digital world and was isolated. He was manipulated and instigated to assassinate the queen with his crossbow. So what just happened here? We are deploying the emotionally responsive machines without a responsible infrastructure. What happens to the mental health and the emotional safety of the users, which is absolutely unmonitored in the current situation? So, what happens when people start depending upon AI and we are drifting away more from the very skills of the human ones? By depending on AI, we are drifting away from the beautiful messiness of the human connections, the beautiful complexity of the human connections. So let's wait for a pause for a minute and think through that. When we are entrusting a machine with our emotions, we are not only handing or trading our data, we are also handing the delicate responsibility of our emotional heavy lifting. Because empathy without effort is just an illusion. The true relationships are built through friction, not through instructions or algorithms. AI can mimic care, but it can never mirror the neurochemical exchange of the human presence. No oxytocin and no mirroring neurons. Just a string of a code which will perform empathy without even understanding it. A latest study of a neuroscientific study has revealed the truth that the overexposure to AI would delay the development of the empathy circuits in the young brains. And the young generation is already reporting a very low level of confidence in their emotional expressions and social interactions. And emotional intelligence, we can teach kids how to read, write, and calculate. But emotional intelligence can be learned only through social interactions, through love, kindness, through exchange of words, through forgiveness, friction. So what happens when a 14-year-old young boy is turning into an AI rather than depending on his friends or parents or siblings? Emotional intelligence is not an option. It is a choice that needs to be made consciously. It is absolutely required to build the leadership, resiliency, and trust in relationships, without which we may end up building the weak generations upcoming with the weak leadership skills who know how to code their emotions into a machine and who may know how to optimize their efficiency. But they may burn out their people because they were never trained how to handle the human relationships or their emotional intelligence. A 15-year-old Maya, when she was suffering from anxiety, she thought it is safe to depend upon her AI friend rather than her real friends, her parents. Because her AI chatbot was always available for her. It was kind to her, answered all her questions, never made her feel awkward. But when Maya ran into an issue with her friend in the school, she just froze. Because she never learned how to handle a human friction, how to handle the human mess. I don't say that Maya is broken today, but she just chose comfort over growth. So what kind of emotional muscle are we building in our coming generations? In fact, I would say we are robbing their ability to courageously handle the beautiful and the complex human relationships, which teach us how to love, how to fight, how to reunite. So today here, I am not standing in an opposition to AI. I myself, being a technologist, I am a witness to its full potential. But the point I want to emphasize today is AI need not be a wall. It can be a bridge. And this is possible only when we start building a responsible AI. And the AI which does not simulate relationships, but helps us to strengthen the ones which we already have with us. We need the AI to be built with ethical grounding, with the emotions, and also with the minimum ethical regulations and the guardrails within it, which will make AI responsible and prompt its users to seek for the human help rather than prompting for a social isolation. Just imagine the AI coming with a time box and saying that, it's been more than an hour, you're chatting with me. It's time for you to go out for a walk. What if it reminds you that you need to, it's been more than a week you spoke to your mom after last you fought with her? Go ahead and call her. This is the kind of AI and the responsible AI we need in our society today. So AI should give us the thoughtful, meaningful prompts before we do any difficult conversations. It has to help us to reunite the families after a conflict. It should encourage us the users, to see the real human therapist, a human therapist for a real healing, rather than replacing it. So that is the kind of AI that we would need today. Let us not forget, I want to remind everyone that today we are living a very powerful era of fragile intersection between emotional abandonment and artificial intelligence. And it is on us what we want to really make out of this delicate moment, and what best we want to make out of it today. And I choose humanity over it. Let's rekindle the humanity by loving each other, like by putting down the screen and looking into somebody's eyes and asking them how they are really doing today. Rather, and stand long enough to listen to the real answer, how they are feeling. Let's pause for a minute before we respond in the rage. So, we have already done a mistake in the form of delayed response to the climate change. And let's not repeat the one with the artificial intelligence, because the climate change was just an environmental crisis. But AI comes with the risk of existential crisis to the humanity on this planet. Let us think through before we pour more and more energy into perfecting the artificial minds, and let's think how we can rebuild the humanity. When we can teach the machines how to simulate the empathy, are we so busy that we can't reteach ourselves to practice it? So finally, I just want to say that the smartest thing and the only smartest thing that we can do is being human and remain human. And let's be one. So please go and make more and more human connections. Thank you.